Hey everybody, welcome to My Horror. Name's Andrew Tibbs, and I'm going to be your new best friend for the next however minutes this takes. Let's go ahead and start with the good old stuff. Here we go. You don't get the fourth one today, just doing the three. So, I am super excited. I just came back from the movie theater, and it is very hard for me to go to the movie theater, by the way. I don't go very often. I don't figure, it's actually what it is. I'm very busy throughout the week, and so, when the weekend comes, I don't really want to leave the house as much. I mean, I will, if I want to take the kids to, the zoo or, do something like that, or we do something as a family, but when it comes to going to the theater, especially when I want to see horror films, that hardly ever happens. And when I do want to see a movie in the theater, I want it to be a matinee because I hate exiting the theater and then it's dark outside and I have to go to bed. So, not a big fan of the theater, but I went and saw the brand new Halloween movie. Actually, just got out of it. I went to go see it with maybe we're new friends. My good friend Ben Priest, he's also an avid horror fan, but we went to go see this movie together, and it was awesome. I was getting a bit nervous about seeing this movie because, when you're talking to other people about it, everyone else builds it up so much, and it makes your expectations very high, unnaturally high, that you're afraid that it's going to fail. I saw that happen with Cabin in the Woods when I saw that. People built it up so much, so when I finally saw it, it just wasn't as good as, they all said it was. And eventually, when I rewatched it over and over again later on, I loved the movie, but people set it up to be this incredible thing, and it just wasn't as good as they said. But with that being said, for Halloween, the 2018 reboot, this movie was fantastic. People told me it was good, but I purposely tried to hold my expectations down just in case I was disappointed. And I'm telling you guys, it's probably going to sound like overkill. And if I end up spoiling some things about this movie, I apologize. It's hard not to. But this movie really was awesome. And actually, there's some of these scenes in this movie that they're so iconic in how they're shot. There's one scene in particular where Mike Myers is coming after this kid. I mean, he is a kid, let's face it. But he's coming after him, and all you're seeing is the posterior of Mike Myers, and now you're not getting a booty shot, but you're just getting the silhouette of his back. But then you also get him holding a knife on the side, and he's walking after this kid, walking but very fast walk, while the Halloween theme that John Carpenter made was playing. And I was getting chills throughout this movie of how awesome it was. It was very nostalgic, yet it also held its own on something special. And so you probably already got the gist. The trailers kind of explain what the plot's about. It ignores all the sequels that spawned after the original Halloween had taken place. This is like a reboot. And so it starts with Mike Myers in the insane asylum, and there's no longer a Dr. Loomis. He had passed away, but Dr. Sartain, he is the one who's been working with Mike Myers for the longest time. And, as often as he works with him, Mike Myers never says a word. He just stays, silent throughout everything, okay? But the movie starts off in a really cool way, too. They're up on a roof. These two podcasters, they want to come and interview Mike. They want to, try to see if they can dive deeper into his story, why he did the things he did. And Dr. Sartain takes him up to the roof where, Mike is chained to this big old metal piece. And there's this big square surrounding him, so, they know not to step within that square or, Mike's going to kill you. But when they get up there, the podcasters try to provoke him in such a way, trying to get any reaction that they can. This guy brings out the Mike Myers mask that we know and love so much, and he's yelling at Mike say something, try to talk to me. And oh man, and right when you think Mike's gonna turn around, and you never see his face the whole movie. It's no surprising. I don't think you really see his face in any of the other movies, but they purposely only show the back of his head maybe a half a glimpse from the side, but you never see Mike's face. And so right when you think he's about to turn around, the logo starts, Halloween. And I like how they just went with Halloween. We all know this is not a remake, but a reboot, but they just went good old-fashioned. It's not Halloween Resurrection, it's not the Curse of Mike Myers, it's just Halloween. This and it's one of its purest forms. And I wanted to mention also with the beginning, I don't know if you guys remember the music as much, or the intro to the original Halloween where it just has the pumpkin that's lit up and you're just getting closer and closer to the pumpkin, and then the movie starts. This is really interesting in how it's done. It shows the pumpkin, the same kind of intro, but the pumpkin's flattened, it's wrought, right? So, but as the music's playing, dun 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 dun, as it's playing, and the credits, not the credits, but like the cast names are being shown, the pumpkin is going from being this flat piece of nastiness, and you can see that, they're rewinding backwards, like the pumpkin it's returning back to its normal form, and by the end of the song, by the end of the intro, the pumpkin's back. And to me, maybe I read into this a little bit too much, but it's almost symbolic for, you thought the Halloween franchise was dead, but watch it get reformed again, and now we're starting anew. So I thought it was really cool. One scene in particular that I want to talk about that really hit me is kind of the one I actually sort of mentioned earlier, when Mike Myers was chasing after this kid, and you got to see the posterior, the silhouette of his body. This was super awesome. So Laurie Strode, the story follows her, training. She has a very strained relationship with her daughter and her granddaughter, because Laurie Strode, growing up, these past 40 years that Mike's been away, she's been training her daughter, to defend herself, right? And training the granddaughter as well, in a way. And so, later on into the movie, the granddaughter's leaving a dance with this kid who's in the eternal friend zone. And when he tries to kiss her, this is the middle of the night on Halloween, she runs ahead, and he's stuck in the backyard of some person's house with those motion capture sensory lights, that shine whenever something moves. He's drunk, he's sitting on the grass in the backyard, and he sees Mike just standing there off in the distance. Very creepy, very awesome. But he sees him, and then the lights turn off. And then when the lights turn on, he appears, only he's a little bit closer. Or the lights turn back on and he's not there anymore. So he's just going all over the place. And right when the kid wants to approach him, or, when he thinks he's close to Mike Myers, he has no idea who he is, by the way. The lights turn on and Mike gets his knife and he just goes at this kid. The kid gets hit, but he runs away, and then Mike is just, you get that crazy cool shot I just told you about. Mike walks slowly up to the kid and he finishes him off. The deaths in this movie are brutal. I'd say they compare. I don't think they're quite as brutal as the kills from the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, but they are pretty darn close, and they're executed a lot. I don't know how to phrase this. They're a lot better in this one. And so I wanted to go ahead and mention all that stuff about this movie to you. I thought it was really awesome. I was happy to go with my friend Ben Priest. He knows a lot about this stuff. And before I end this video, I just wanted to cast my opinion. I know a lot of people have a love-hate relationship towards the Rob Zombie Halloween movies. As much as they do have their flaws, I do think they have a tendency to overkill the story. See how I did that? They have a tendency to overkill the story every once in a while. I actually, a lot of times, really do like the Rob Zombie Halloween movies. I like the breakneck speed that they did the original Halloween at the end of Rob Zombie's remake. When they play out the whole story only as quick-paced. I think that's awesome. And some of those kills are absolutely brutal. And with that being said, one of my favorite Halloweens, and I might get a lot of flack for this, but I like Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie one. It's got so many flaws in it, and this I know, but I love how the movie is very fall looking. I mean, it's based on Halloween, obviously, but I love the fall colors. I love all the kills in the movie. It's just fantastic. And so I recommend you guys go back and watch that and kind of look at it a different way, if you will. But I want to just mention all that to you guys. The new Halloween was amazing. Go ahead and go see it. Go ahead and comment below when you watch this video what you thought about the movie and what you think about the Rob Zombie ones as well, because I'm interested to hear that. But you guys have a good one. Peace. See ya.